So here's the trivia question of the day. Who is the only British artist to be a member of Duran Duran and Barenaked Ladies of Canada? You're saying to yourself, that's a big stretch. But this guy is known for being a great singer-songwriter, known for one of the most intelligent, creators of his era. And were it not for some change of pace, he would be a household name. But he is known within the industry as being, again, one of the icons of new wave music into the pop genre, Canadian especially, of the 1980s. So today we're going to be talking about Tintin or Tintin, Stephen Tintin Duffy or Tintin Duffy, depending if you're French or English. Now, born in Almond Rock, Warwickshire, England, is an English musician, singer, and songwriter. He was a founding member, vocalist, bassist, and then drummer of Duran Duran. He went on to record as a solo performer under several different names, and is a singer and songwriter for the cult band A Lilac Time with his elder brother Nick. He has also co-written with Robbie Williams and, of course, Stephen Page of Barenaked Ladies, which was highly controversial back in the day because it kind of created a riff in that band, which eventually led to Page leaving down the road. Now, while attending the School of Foundation Studies and Experimental Workshop at Birmingham Polytechnic, now Birmingham City University, Duffy met John Taylor. Together, along with Taylor's childhood friend Nick Rhodes, they formed the group Duran Duran. While Taylor was a guitarist, later switching to bass, and Rhodes played the synthesizer, Duffy was the band's vocalist, lyricist, and bass player. When bass player Simon Cowley joined, Duffy moved to drums. He left both the school and the band in '79 before Duran Duran signed with EMI in 1980. So when Simon Le Bon basically helped make Duran Duran an international sensation, they also eventually emerged as members of the new romantic scene. Now, the foundation early years, we're going to go over this very quickly. Taylor and Rhodes, again, formed it with Stephen Tintin Duffy, an art school friend, naming their band after Dr. Duran Duran of the Jane Fonda Barbarella science fiction movie. Milo O'Shea's character, again, from Barbarella, which came out in '68. The day after the film was broadcast on BBC on 20th October '78. The three of them, Taylor on guitar and vocals, Rhodes on synthesizer and tapes, Duffy on vocals and bass, played their first gig on 5th of April '79 at Birmingham Polytechnic. Soon after, they were joined by Cowley on clarinet and bass. John, then going by his first name Nigel, was a guitarist at this point. After a few gigs, including performance at Barbarella's in Birmingham opening for the band's Fashion, Duffy and Cowley left the band in June '79. Now, Taylor and Rhodes then recruited lead vocalist Andy Wickett, formerly frontman of TVI, and decided they needed a live drummer. They hired Roger Taylor, no relation, a former member of various local bands, most recently the Scent Organs, who had played at Barbarella's, while John Taylor switched to bass. In September '79, this incarnation of the band recorded a 4-track demo, including an early version of Girls on Film, co-written by Andy Wickett. Soon afterwards, Alan Curtis was recruited as lead guitarist. After a few gigs with this lineup, Wickett left the band in late '79. Now, Wickett was replaced by Roger Taylor's friend and former singer of the Scent Organs, Jeff Thomas. In early 1980, they became the resident band at the city's Rum Runner nightclub. They were doing jobs at the club and began rehearsing and regularly playing at the venue. Curtis was unhappy with the Rum Runner club scene and left the band to form Diff Jews with his brother. Thomas was fired shortly after following disagreements and repeated arguments. The three remaining members started to look for new lead vocalists and guitarists. The owners of the club, brothers Paul and Michael Barrow, became the team's management, paying them to work as doorman, disc jockeys, and barmen when they were not rehearsing, and also formed the Tritech Music Company. Now, in April 1980, guitarist Andy Taylor came from Newcastle upon Tyne to audition after responding to advertising Melody Maker. Andy already had a lot of experience in playing with cover bands for years, and although he came from a totally different rock music background, his versatile playing style was seen as a perfect complement to the band. But in May 1980, London vocalist and drama student Simon Le Bon was recommended to the band by an ex-girlfriend who worked at the Rum Runner. The band was immediately impressed by Le Bon, and soon after completing their first composition with the new lineup, Sound of Thunder, it featured lyrics by Le Bon. Duran Duran's first performance with the classic lineup which was Le Bon, Rhodes and the Three Tailors, was on 16 July 1980 at the Rum Runner. At this point, Stephen Tintin Duffy, or Tantan Duffy, depending on how you pronounce it, he went on to form Obviously Five Believers, sometimes known as the Subterranean Hawks or the Hawks, and he made his first 4-track recordings. The Hawks' only single, Words of Hope, was released in 81, a year after Simon joined Duran Duran. Now, 82, he created the band Tintin, or Tantan, with John Mulligan and Dick Davis, both in a fashion, Andy Stoker-Graukoff of Dexys Midnight Runners, and Bob Lamb, original producer of UB40. Originally called Holy Tintin before being shortened, the band were signed with Weir Records in the UK and released the single Kiss Me. Now, instead of working in the States, Duffy moved back to England and signed a deal as a solo artist with Virgin 10. Now, working under the name Stephen Tintin Duffy, he recorded a new version of Kiss Me, which was released in 84. This time only in the local West Midlands area, followed by a nationwide release of She Makes Me Quiver, which peaked at number 88 in September 84. At the end of 84, Duffy recorded a third version of Kiss Me, which was released in February 85. It debuted at number 222 and peaked at number 4 in the UK and stayed in the top 10 for 5 weeks. This was the same time that Duran Duran was going high. Now, later on, he did different projects, including Dr. Calculus and the Lilac Time. And the solo Stephen Tintin Duffy came out in 93, and there were Music in Colors later, followed by Duffy, and he released different solo stuff. Now, eventually, by 87, he was a well-regarded songwriter and singer and all the good things. But he was contacted by Stephen Page of Barenaked Ladies, then of the band Scary Movie Breakfast, who was impressed by his writing and demo tape. Duffy and Page began co-writing songs. Now, this was highly controversial in Canada because Barenaked Ladies were seen to go from independent and being sellouts by getting, a wordsmith like Duffy to come in. Now, they worked together to produce popular Barenaked Lady songs like Jane, which was a big MTV and Much Music hit, Alcohol, and Call and Answer. Now, the final two were included on the platinum-selling album Stunt, as well as material on Page's eventual solo album, The Vanity Project, where after Barenaked Ladies broke up. Now, there's a big documentary if you want to watch. It's called The Memory and Desire, 30 Years in the Wilderness with Stephen Duffy and the Lilac Time, which was filmed over 6 years, including vintage footage of the band. Now, later work included an album by the Hawks called Obviously Five Believers, which arrived more than 40 years after the single Words of Hope, with the project overseen by him, drummer Dave Twists, and producer John Paterno. The album came about after Duffy got heckled by the band's guitarist Dave Cusworth, also formerly of the Dogs d'Amour and Jacobites, an event at Birmingham's Glee Club in 2019, with the album being released by Easy Action Records almost a year after the death of Cusworth. Now, again, the numerous singles, but again, Kiss Me is the most well-known. Anyway, the Barenaked Ladies' work, it was highly, not say controversial, but when Much Music announced that Duffy was being brought in, or officially brought in, or was made official, that he was helping out Stephen Page, it was, at the time, this may sound kind of bizarre, they were the number one band in Canada, and to find out this was kind of shocking to a lot of people because, a lot of people didn't even know that he was the first singer of Duran Duran. But like from a pop perspective, he's probably one of the most important artists of what they call the new romantic to the pure pop era of the 90s. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's the story of Stephen Tintin Duffy with his connection with Duran Duran and Barenaked Ladies. If you like what we're doing here with our music vintage podcast, let us know in a like, comment, subscribe, or share. Bye.